We're not trying to sound like a cartoon princess here. We're not trying to be fake. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to sound soft and feminine. Sounding feminine is not a one-way thing. Not everybody has a high-pitched voice. Not everybody has the baby voice. And if that's not how you speak, then you don't need to force it. If you want to sound more feminine, then you're going to have to slow down the way that you speak. When you speak very fast, you sound very anxious. You don't sound very confident. When you speak slower, you have a calm confidence. You come off like a woman who knows what she's talking about because she's not trying to rush and just get her words out very quickly.
A queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early.
You're the one that's in control of the conversation. Speaking slower also gives the other person that you're talking to the opportunity to actually digest what you're talking about. Imagine if I was just rambling on in this video and just going on and on and on and on. You would be sitting there trying to digest all of this information at once, and it would make it very, very hard to understand what I'm saying. But when I'm speaking slower, it gives you the opportunity to actually digest each word that I'm saying, maybe even take notes. I've noticed when I speak slower, people don't feel so tense, because if you're speaking fast, the other person is going to be looking at you like, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? It's gonna make you both kind of feel uncomfortable and nervous. But when you're speaking slower, people feel more comfortable. They wanna talk to you more. They're actually listening to what it is that you're saying. So the most common myth when it comes to feminine communication or sounding feminine is that you have to speak in this high-pitched tone, which is not true. We're not trying to sound like a cartoon princess here. We're not trying to be fake.
Awfully sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you.
Instead, this is the type of tone you should aim for. Aim for a tone that's warm, it's soft, it's gentle. You sound friendly but confident, inviting but not forceful. So for example, let's say you want to get your partner's attention and you say, I need you to listen to me. See how that's a bit harsh, very demanding, and a little aggressive? Instead, you're going to say it like this. Hey, can you listen to me for a second? Notice how that tone sounds a bit more inviting and more respectful and not as harsh and demanding as the other tone, which is going to make it much easier to receive to your partner. Just like I mentioned earlier, even if your voice is deeper or raspy, you can still focus on having a softer and pleasant tone. It doesn't have to be high-pitched. The thing that you're going to do to have a softer and feminine voice is you're going to cultivate a gentle spirit. Having a soft tone and a soft voice reflects having a gentle and soft spirit. If you're a woman that is very angry, defensive, or even very anxious, it's going to show up in the way that you communicate and the way that you speak. No matter how much you try and fake it, you can have that high-pitched voice, that baby voice, but if you just have a very anxious, like I said, and just aggressive spirit, then it's going to show up in how you speak and in your tone. And that's something that you're going to have to change from the inside. First, you're going to practice patience.
You roll the eyes sometimes when people test your patience.
And I know if you're someone that is very anxious, this is going to be hard for you. But you need to practice patience because it's going to show in how you communicate. If you're impatient, then one, you're going to start rambling and speaking fast, or two, you're going to be cutting people off while they're speaking, and you're not going to come off as being warm and gentle. Next, you need to practice staying calm when you're triggered. And this isn't an easy one. I'll definitely give you that. This one does take time and patience. Something that can really help you is you can identify what it is that triggers you in the moment. Is it because you feel offended? Is it because you want to defend yourself? Try to determine what is triggering you in that moment and work on it internally. What really helps me specifically with not feeling triggered is just not taking things personally. Someone is giving me attitude, I just assume, okay, this person has a bad day, or maybe they're projecting. I just never try to assume that the person is personally attacking me. The next thing you can do is pray for gentleness. If you are a believer, then you are aware of the fruits of the Spirit. And one of those fruits is having gentleness. So during your prayer time, pray for God to give you a gentle spirit. I like to pray that God will help me embody the fruits of the Spirit, specifically gentleness, and that'll show in the way that I communicate and just act with people. If you're someone who struggles with being gentle, then just pray to God about it. It's a characteristic that He wants us all to have, so He's going to give you that. The next thing you can do is you can journal and work on having your inner peace first. So when I used to really struggle with communicating my feelings or even just feeling my feelings, I'd like to just write out exactly how I was feeling. I'd take my notes in my iPhone and I just write out exactly how I was feeling that day, what it is that stressed me out. So try journaling and doing that. And then take time to reflect on what it is that you wrote about. This will not only help you get your feelings out and get those emotions out, but it'll also help you reflect on what it is that may have triggered you in those moments. So all of these things really helped me change my way of communicating. It helped me have a softer and feminine communication style. So I'm a hairstylist, and I remember a time where I had a client that was very, very aggressive and angry with me. And I want to point out that this client was in the wrong from the beginning. So this particular client came and she was just very angry because she didn't have certain hair that she needed for her appointment. And she was yelling and getting very angry and aggressive with me. And in that moment, I chose not to react. Like I mentioned earlier, I really do not try to take things personally when somebody's very angry or they have an attitude with me. I always assume that they may be dealing with something or it might be something personal that's going on in their lives. So while she was yelling and getting angry with me, I stayed very calm. I let her know that I understood where she was coming from and I understood why she was angry and that I'd love to make sure that we can rectify the situation. And when I responded so soft and calmly, she immediately just changed her whole persona. All of a sudden, she started apologizing to me. She was just very apologetic. She explained that something had happened in her family during that time and that she was just really going through a rough day. Her birthday was also coming up, so she really wanted her hair to be very nice. And this client ended up being one of the most sweetest people that I've ever met. So I give this example to show that speaking feminine and being gentle and soft really does have its benefits. And when you genuinely work on yourself and have that gentle spirit, it becomes something that is felt. It becomes something that's natural to you and not something that's a performance. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to breathe from your belly and not your throat. So when you're feeling very tense, you tend to speak from your throat and not from your belly. And this makes your voice sound very forced and very sharp and just very tight. This is how you're going to fix that. You're going to start pausing before you speak. This is going to give you time to actually gather your thoughts and relax yourself so you don't sound very forced and it doesn't sound like you're out of breath. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a breath from your belly. You're going to take a deep breath to calm yourself down and relax yourself before you start speaking. The last thing that you're going to do is you're going to relax your shoulders and your jaw. You're not going to have this tight jaw that makes you look like you're very tense, stern. And relaxing your shoulders is going to give you a bit of confidence. Remember, things don't have to be perfect. You're not going to get this immediately. It's even something that I have to continue working on myself. But when you give yourself that time to pause and breathe, you allow yourself to recollect your thoughts, you allow yourself to calm down a bit, and that's going to help you just stay calm and collected. And all of this will really come in handy, especially when you have tough conversations or you have public speaking engagements to do, or if you're even having an argument. So just to do a quick little recap, these are the tips that you need to do in order to sound more soft and feminine. Slower your speech. You're not going to be rushing and just speaking very nervously or frantically. You're going to focus on your tone over your pitch. I'm not telling you that you need to speak, oh my gosh, hi, how are you? You don't need to speak like that. Just focus on having a gentle and a calm tone. Then you're going to have a gentle spirit. And like I mentioned, all of that is just working on yourself internally. And that is going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. But once you focus on having a gentle spirit, that's going to show in your voice. Last thing is breath control. You're not going to be speaking like you're out of breath. You're going to calm down. You're going to take deep breaths. You're going to pause before you speak. That way, again, you just seem calm and collected. So I want to emphasize again that this isn't about faking your voice and just faking softness. It's about feeling safe and calm and just centered in yourself so that it flows naturally. And again, all of these tips truly helped me when it came to speaking more feminine. And over time, it just felt a little bit more natural for me. So if you desire more daily practices like this to help you just feel more feminine and soft, then check out my How to Be More Feminine 30-day guide, which will really help you just go step by step in learning how to embrace your softness and just feel more confident and feminine.